Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Create Your Oz podcast, where we find inspiration in the greatest underdog stories ever told. Today, we are diving into the story of Rudy Bailor, the rookie lawyer from John Grisham's The Rainmaker who took on a corrupt insurance company with nothing but his wits and his integrity. Let's break down 4 powerful lessons from his journey. Lesson 1. Resourcefulness beats resources every time. Rudy, with his tiny office and unorthodox methods, defeated a legion of high-priced attorneys simply by being better prepared, more creative, and more determined. How does this correlate with history? Winston Churchill in 1940. Facing the seemingly invincible Nazi war machine, Britain was outgunned and alone. Churchill didn't have the resources for a quick victory. Instead, he mobilized the nation's spirit with his powerful speeches, utilized intelligence and technology cleverly, and forged alliances. His resourceful leadership held the line until the balance of power could shift. What can we learn from this? How can we apply it to our own life? You don't need the biggest budget to win. Creativity, grit, and the ability to maximize what you do have are your ultimate force multipliers. As an entrepreneur, adopt a lean startup mentality. As a student, form study groups and use free online resources. Focus on creative problem solving, not perfect conditions. In other words, look at the current challenge. What's one underutilized skill or free tool you can leverage to make progress this week? Lesson 2. Authenticity is your greatest credibility. Rudy's plain speaking, emotional, and genuinely outraged demeanor built more trust with the jury than the defense's polished, corporate coldness ever could. How does this correlate with history? Abraham Lincoln. In an age of grand orators, Lincoln's power was in his authenticity. His honest Abe persona, simple anecdotes, and humble manner made him profoundly relatable and trustworthy. This authenticity was crucial in uniting a fractured nation during the Civil War. What can we learn from this? How can we apply it to our own life? In a world of curated social media personas, genuine human connection is a superpower. People are drawn to and trust those who are real. As a leader, be transparent and admit your mistakes. In your career, lead with your own strengths and vulnerabilities. In networking, focus on building a real connection. In other words, in your next important conversation, consciously focus on being genuinely you. Lesson 3. You can beat the system at his own game. Rudy didn't try to burn down the legal system. He mastered its rules, motions, discovery, courtroom procedure, and used them to achieve justice from within. How does this correlate with history? Nelson Mandela. After decades of imprisonment, Mandela emerged not to destroy South Africa, but to transform it. He engaged the apartheid government in negotiations, using the very structures of politics and law that had once oppressed him. He mastered the game of statecraft from within to dismantle apartheid. What can we learn from this? How can we apply it to our own life? Lasting, systemic change is often best achieved by understanding and mastering the existing system, then using its own levers for reform. To promote change in a company, get a job there and lead from an internal committee. To reform a local issue, join the town council. In other words, identify a system you want to improve. What's the one rule or committee you can master to create change from the inside? Lesson 4. Quiet defiance is a form of victory. Rudy won the case but lost the monetary judgment, a hollow victory by most measures. Yet, his true success was his quiet, definitive act of walking away from a corrupt system, refusing to be corrupted by it himself. How does this correlate with history? Rosa Parks. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks didn't give a grand speech or lead a march. She committed a simple, quiet act of defiance. She refused to give up her seat. This wasn't a victory that changed the system in that moment. She was arrested. But her quiet integrity, her unwavering no, became the catalyst for a movement that would change everything. The victory wasn't in avoiding consequence, but in the power of her principled stand. What can we learn from this? How can we apply it to our own life? Victory isn't always loud and triumphant. Sometimes it's the quiet, personal decision not to participate in something you know is wrong. It's the integrity you preserve when no one is applauding. This could look like silently refusing to participate in gossip around the office water cooler. It could be declining to take credit for a colleague's idea, even when you could get away with it. It's choosing your peace and principles over a petty, hollow win. In other words, reflect. Where in your life are you being asked to compromise your quiet integrity for a noisy, but ultimately empty victory? What would it look like to simply walk away, In conclusion, Rudy Bailor's story, when placed alongside these historical giants, shows a universal truth. The power of character is a force that can outlast empires, outwit vast resources, and redefine what success truly means. Their collective lesson is that the most significant victories aren't just about changing your own life. They're about affirming a principle that can inspire the world. If Rudy's story has you wanting more, you can dive into John Grisham's original novel, The Rainmaker, or watch the excellent 1997 film adaptation starring Matt Damon. You can also stream the recent television series that aired on USA Network, starring Milo Callahan as Rudy, which premiered on August 15, 2025. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And remember, to engineer the future, you first have to dare to calculate it.